Hi, hope you had a great day. Well, today I want to talk about the relationship with food. What kind of relationship do you have with the food that you eat? Now, when we look at our lives today, when we look at our relationship with our loved ones, when we look at our relationship with our siblings, when we look at our relationship with our parents, our colleagues, our bosses, anyone, an important relationship is very imperative in the way that we feel. If we have a great relationship, we feel good. If we have a poor relationship, we feel bad. So this is any relationship in our life. So for example, if I'm in a relationship with a particular person and that person doesn't make me feel good, I'm not going to have good feelings myself, which means it's not healthy for me and it's not healthy for the other person as well. So everything in life revolves around our relationships with nature. It doesn't have to just be a person. And our relationships with our environment, our relationships with the workplace that we work in. And of course, the topic that I want to talk about today, our relationship with food. There are just too many people out there who have a bad relationship with food. And things are going to change in our health only when we change our relationship with food. So for example, some people are looking at boosting immunity. Some people are looking at losing weight. Some people are looking at gaining weight. Some people are looking at healing a disease. And many people are looking at preventing the onset of a disease. All of this is useless if you do not improve the relationship with your food. You can go on dieting, you can go on fat exercise programs, you can go on meditating all day, but if your relationship with the very thing that you eat that nourishes billions of cells in the human body isn't good, it is not going to do what food is designed to do for us. You see, food is energy. Each and every one of us are built up of trillions of cells. These cells require energy. We get energy from the oxygen that we breathe. It's called your prana. We get energy from the food that we eat. So everything that you put into your system is breaking down either into the right energy or into the wrong energy. And a lot of the assimilation of food that happens depends on what we think about that particular food. So for example, if I think a particular food is bad for me, for example, I label chocolate as a food that makes me fat. I label dessert as a food that makes me fat. I label another particular food as a food that makes me sick. Whenever we eat this food, our subconscious mind, our conscious mind is connected with trillions of cells in the human body. That is exactly what is going to happen in our system. Now let's refer to a relationship. So for example, if you have a relationship with someone who you don't like, every time you're in front of that person or you're talking to that person or you're in close proximity with that person, you don't feel good because your mindset about that person, your relationship with that person is already bad. Now to change the way you feel, you need to change your relationship with that particular person, and only then can you feel better. So the same thing with food. If we've labeled the food, it is in our subconscious today, which means every time we eat chocolate, that thought process of chocolate making us fat starts the whole manifestation in our system. Now, when I'm talking about manifestation, I'm talking mainly stress and guilt. Now, these are two negative emotions, again, which makes us fat. The more cortisol we produce, the more belly fat we have. So if I'm eating a food which I've labeled bad in my subconscious or my mindset, it is raising cortisol levels in my system. And so if you look at people today, they eat desserts or they eat the foods that they may really want to have, but they've labeled it as bad. And that's exactly what's going to happen in your system. The food that you've labeled is going to behave that way in your system. So I'm going to give you an example. A lot of people get onto these fad diets. These are diets that starve you. These are diets that create deprivation. Now, a deprived body is a deprived mind, and a deprived mind is also a deprived body. So if you're constantly working with energy that is meant to nourish us, and you're limiting certain things, or you're feeling depressed because you can't have certain things that your body's possibly craving from. There are so many of you watching the video right now where sometimes you go low carb, but your body is physically craving carbohydrates, but yet you'll use your willpower to fight that craving, and you start feeling deprived and you don't feel good about yourself anymore. And in most cases, you don't even reach your health goal because your physical body is demanding something it needs, but your mindset thinks otherwise against carbs because we keep reading that carbs are bad and carbs makes us fat. These are mindsets that we form. Yes, carbs in excess and the wrong carbs with a sedentary lifestyle will definitely make you pack on the pounds, but that doesn't make a carb bad. There are good carbs and there are bad carbs. It's our mindset. So we feel so deprived, and when we feel deprived, you can never feel good inside. If you don't feel good inside, there is no way you can assimilate even the organic food that you're eating or even the pure food that you're eating, because you need an environment in your digestive system that is basically positive, that is basically energetic. You know, there's a fire in our digestive systems that helps you break down food. That is called metabolic fire. It's called Agni in Ayurveda. And this fire helps you digest your food perfectly. But when we don't have that right environment in our system, we have all the problems. So how do we change our relationship with food? Number one, if you ate something bad today or you ate something bad yesterday, stop punishing yourself. If we're in a relationship with someone again and every time there's something bad that happens and we punish ourselves or we punish the other person, is it going to be a healthy relationship? Absolutely not. It's going to create more negativity. So you may have eaten something bad yesterday. You don't have to punish yourself because you're sending a wrong message to your subconscious that, oh, I've done something really bad and now I'm punishing myself. So you ate a bar of chocolate or you ate a dessert and then you decide, okay, now I need to run it off, and you go on the treadmill running for an hour to burn it off. Number one, the body doesn't work on the principle of math. So if you ate 300 extra calories and you think I should burn 300 calories on the treadmill, it's not working. Your body does not work on the principle of math. It works on biology, it works on physiology, it works on chemistry. It works around the laws of nature, not on math alone. So you see, we go on punishing ourselves. When we punish ourselves, we make ourselves victims. And when we're victims, we are always surrounded by this negative energy that doesn't work for our digestion, it doesn't work for our immunity, it doesn't work for trillions of cells in the human body. So number one, stop punishing yourself. If you ate something bad, it's okay. Have faith that your body's going to break it down and get back on track with your healthy eating or your exercise program. The second thing, start enjoying. To build a relationship, you need to be mindful. You have to give a lot to build a great relationship. And that's where a lot of us fail. But the same thing with food. So when you're eating that food in front of you, connect with your food. Be mindful. Chew your food. Understand the tastes of food. Most of us go through our food so quickly, even if it was something that we really liked, we've just not given ourselves time to make that connection. If you really take a juicy fruit and you sit and mindfully eat it, you'll understand its sweetness is far superior than all the high corn fructose syrup, the refined sugar, and all the junk that we have. That's artificial. But we mindfully bite into a juicy apple or an orange and you really connect with it, you'll understand the next time I need something sweet, you automatically start reaching out to something which is natural rather than something which is artificial. So it is so important that you build a relationship by chewing your food, eating mindfully without distraction. So once you make that connect with food, okay, that becomes a very sacred part of your day when you sit down to eat, energize your body, nourish, and then get back to your gadgets, get back to your life, get back to whatever you're doing. But you got to make your mealtime sacred where you can mindfully connect with your food so that you can build your relationship with that food. You can't build a relationship with a person or someone you love if you're constantly distracted, looking at your phone, talking to someone, not giving them that time and not mindfully connecting. We all know that. It's the same thing with your food. Number 3, guilt. Most of us suffer from this guilt because we have this mindset about bad food. So the moment we eat that bad food, we feel guilty. It's as simple as that. In life, when we do something that we're not supposed to do, we feel guilt. Now, guilt is bad for us because guilt raises cortisol. Cortisol changes all of our, hormones in the human body. So for a woman, progesterone falls. If progesterone falls, estrogen goes up. If we have excess estrogen in our body, even men, you know where that goes. It's in your belly. You have all this belly fat. You have all this hip fat, midriff fat. That's all excess estrogen because the more guilt we have, the more hormonal imbalance we have. And the more hormonal imbalance we have, it's not just weight that you have multiple other issues that you can relate with a hormonal imbalance. So even if there's something that's bad and you really truly want to eat it without guilt. Enjoy it thoroughly. Be mindful with it. Eat it. When you're mindful, you will never overeat. When you are not mindful, you will overeat because you don't know how much to eat. And then you're eating mindlessly. When you eat mindlessly, you don't really connect with taste and your brain doesn't really get that signal when to stop. So you need to understand that you need to connect with your food and do not feel guilty. You could be eating a donut right now. And we all know that, yep, a donut is deep fried, it's got sugar, it's probably got high corn fructose syrup. But right now I can change my mindset and say I'm going to truly enjoy this and my body is going to assimilate it perfectly. I've changed my mindset and my body is going to follow. Which brings me into my 5th point, which is positive affirmations when you eat. So if I'm going to eat something bad right now, I'm going to eat it, but I'm going to positively affirm that all that food that I just ate is going to nourish every cell in my body. It's going to make me feel good. It's going to help me meet my goals. It may seem like a lie to you, but that's your conscious mind because your conscious mind can reason, but your subconscious mind cannot reason. It believes what it sees and it believes what is embedded in your subconscious mind. So you may think that, hey, I'm eating this bowl of ice cream right now and I'm affirming that It's going to keep me fit. It's going to keep me slim. It's going to make my muscles grow. It's going to nourish all my cells. Don't worry. It may seem like a lie to your conscious mind, but you want your subconscious now to believe that your body will break down an ice cream the perfect way. The all or nothing attitude, so some people say, let me just give up sugar for an entire month. Okay, some people say, let me get off desserts for an entire year and all of that. Some people do it for religious beliefs, for religious reasons. That's absolutely fine. But the all or nothing finally leaves you nowhere. It doesn't teach you mindfulness. It doesn't teach you to change your behavior. So why can't you have a little bit of everything and still be fit? Why do you have to have an extreme diet to lose weight? Why can't you have discipline in your life, a routine in your life, and do a little of what is required you to do, which is natural to lose that weight? We need extremes. We don't need extremes, because with extremes comes deprivation. With deprivation, it doesn't work well with your body. It doesn't work well with your mind. So the all or nothing doesn't really work. Aim for balance. Aim for balance according to your lifestyle. For you, it may be a teaspoon of sugar that works great for your body and your fitness goals. For some people, they may get away with 2 teaspoons of sugar. So it's individual. Don't look left, right, compare yourselves. It is your life, your body, your environment. Find out what works for you. Okay? The last point that I have is you need to understand sometimes you have these cravings and you want to reach out for foods even when you're not hungry. It's very important for you to understand if it's an emotional craving, you want to get to the root cause of what's making me want to eat right now when I'm not even hungry and I've just had a meal. It could be stress, it could be a person, it could be boredom, it could be sadness, it could be depression. You want to be mindful about why you emotionally eat. And if you're still fine and you're physically hungry and you truly crave a chocolate bar, go ahead and eat the chocolate bar. Your body's going to break it down. That's physical hunger. And your mindset is positive and different. So we need to understand the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger. Most of us are feeding our emotions unnecessarily. Sugar and salt feeds our emotions because it makes us feel better. It gives us that quick spurt of energy in our brain, and that's why we get so addicted to it, because we're probably feeling low, we're feeling less about ourselves, our self-esteem's fallen, our self-confidence has fallen. So it's good. All human beings go through this, every single human being, but it's very important for you to know, what are you emotionally feeding? What emotion are you feeding with the wrong foods? And like I said, you're in a good mood and you want to reach out for that donut and a cup of coffee, go ahead and do it. Okay, because your state of mind is completely different. You're feeding physical hunger and you truly want to enjoy it. And this is what I mean by the relationship with food. Each and every one of us have to sit down and understand our relationship with food. We got to stop labeling food the bad way. So even when we teach our children food, we shouldn't put that thought in their head that, hey, this food is bad, this food is going to make you sick, this food is going to cause cancer, this food is going to cause cardiovascular diseases. It's not true. There is no one food that causes disease. It's a bad lifestyle that causes diseases. So when we put that thought in their subconscious, then we create fear. So every time your child probably eats something, they're going to have this fear that, is it going to cause cancer? Am I going to get a heart attack? The same thing with adults as well. So it's extremely important for us to teach our children and ourselves the right way. We don't have to label a food bad. We can say, okay, these are great foods and these are foods which are not so great, so I should have it in limitation or I should have it in moderation. Your relationship with food will change your health, the way you lose weight, everything in your body. But if we have this relationship of fear and insecurity with food, that's exactly how it's going to manifest in our mind and followed by in our body. Have a great night, everyone. Sleep well. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.